Welcome to the KCMA podcast, aka The Foxhole. Listen, before we get started today with today's amazing podcast and our guest, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go out there, like, subscribe, and leave a comment on any of our social media platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you find us. Go ahead, leave us a comment, share our posts, and subscribe to this if you're watching us on YouTube. That would be phenomenal. Also, if you want to find out some more great information connected to KCMA, this is what I need you to do from your mobile device or your phone. Go ahead and pull up your URL and type in kcma.ky.gov. Listen, that's one of the best ways I can think of that you can stay connected to all things that are going on in the great state of Kentucky that are military related, so that you know and are informed and updated about events and programs and prizes and projects, so that we can continue to build and be that great military ready state that we so aspirationally want to become. Listen, this Foxhole podcast is designed to interview key people in the bluegrass state, one of the greatest states in the country. That's right, the great state of Kentucky, who are helping our military members and their families succeed. We are working tirelessly, working very hard day in and day out to make sure we're giving you some of the best content and informing you about some of the best programs and initiatives that are moving Kentucky and moving that needle from military friendly to military ready. We want to make sure that our Kentucky military members and their families find success, whether they're in the uniform or out of the uniform. Listen, the purpose of this podcast is 4 things we want you to do. I want you to 1, stay engaged. I want you to 2, I want you to stay motivated. 3, I want you to stay educated. And 4, I want you to stay inspired in all things Kentucky. That's right, all things military. Listen, before we head into the Foxhole with today's amazing guest, I know this is a holiday season, and this is why I have this very special guest on today, to remind us that in the holiday season, we need to be aware of what we're giving and who we're giving to. Listen, military family, we know, Foxhole Nation, you know there are people out there who need your help. We need you to give. We need you to support. During this holiday season, this is what I need you to do. Listen to this podcast. Donate to these initiatives. We love you. We know you're going to do some amazing things, and we're going to keep doing amazing things, but we can only do it with your help. So listen, let's head on into the Foxhole with today's amazing guest. All right, Foxhole Nation, welcome back to another great KCMA podcast where we're going to take it live from the Foxhole with the one, the only Eileen Ward. Listen, she does a phenomenal job with KDVA, and she's going to tell you exactly what she does today. But before we get into all that, I want Foxhole Nation to know I love you. We're working with you. We are the only podcast in Kentucky that is focused on keeping all things military, all things Kentucky. So, Eileen, knowing all that, how are you doing today?
I am great. I am so honored for this opportunity to talk about my homeless program.
No, we are the ones who are honored to hear about this program. So, as we ask all of our guests, right, just to kind of get it warm and cozy and get everything, get all our mental thoughts going right. In your opinion, what makes Kentucky a great state for military family members?
I hate to toot our own horn, but KDVA, we have like the best, smartest, accredited veteran benefit representatives. I'm not just saying, I mean, this is the honest truth. We are very highly rated. Our numbers are fantastic. You know, veteran benefit representatives can help you file for non-service connected pensions or service connected claims. KDVA itself, I know I shouldn't be bragging, but it's an incredible organization, and it is here for Kentucky veterans. But I have been in Kentucky for a long time, and I will tell you one thing. I have been on the road all over Kentucky, and the love and respect and honor that is given to Kentucky veterans, it's not phony. It's not once a year. It's nonstop. It's like deep rooted in there in tradition here. And I know that it's so touching. As many years as I've been traveling and going around the state, taking claims, meeting people, it's real. I mean, it's, every person I've ever talked to, like if you call and say, I'd like to set up a meeting so I can meet veterans, people are so accommodating. Anything that has to do with veterans in Kentucky. And honestly, it's nonpartisan. It's not who's in charge. It's the people themselves. So, okay. So KDVA is number one. Definitely the attitude, the attitude of the people in Kentucky. But I mean, it's just the best kept secret. We have the best weather. You get a little bit of both. It's a little winter. We get 4 seasons. And people, I've lived in New York and Texas, and I can tell you the best compliment, people in Kentucky know how to drive in the snow. You can't, nobody in Texas knows how to drive in the snow. It's dangerous there. So, I mean, I could go on and on. I love Kentucky. I love Kentucky. I'm not born here, but I'll never leave. I've been here since 1998. It's been wonderful for my family and my children and my grandchildren. So, and also, let me just say one other thing. The VA medical centers in Lexington, Louisville, surrounding, Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, they are very highly rated.
Right.
And everyone claims to be highly rated, but if you go to the VA website, va.gov, you can actually see the ranking of every VA medical center in the United States, and we're very good. So I find that I'm very proud of that. As a Kentuckian, I'm very proud of that. So,
and that's great, because that is what we're striving for. We kick the can around the yard. We say it all the time. We're moving in the direction of being military ready. We know what military friendly is, and that's thank you for your service. But we want to make sure that when military family members and those connected to them, when your military member is ready to retire or look for a job, or they're in the reserves or the Air Force, or the reserves or the National Guard, when they want to become that, put on that civilian hat, we want to make sure that we're ready to give them the opportunity to succeed in any way, shape, or form. So yes, I mean, you're right. When you have a high ranking in the VA, when KDVA is doing its job, and not saying that it's never not doing its job, and when our veteran service organizations are doing their job and everyone's bringing their A game, it just makes everyone focus on us being the most military ready state that we possibly can be for our veterans when it's that time.
And that is so true, because just so happened yesterday we were hosted. The KDVA was hosted by Eastern Kentucky University, with partnering with the VSOs in Kentucky. Doing training. We're really trying to build. Not that we've never had, I mean, we've always had a good relationship, but we really need to strengthen that, because honestly, the veteran service organizations are the foundation for the support and the love that's spread through Kentucky. So I'm sorry, I keep going on.
No,
You go.
I love it. I love it. Our
Yeah.
VSOs are critical, because typically what some people, or what I mean, because I worked for the American Legion national headquarters in Indianapolis. And a lot of times that's the first touch point. They touch a VSO before they touch, because sometimes they get out and they're like, oh, I don't need any VA assistance. I don't need the hospital, or, I'm good. So it's a while before they really get acclimated to the our Veterans Association, or even the VA hospital, or any of that, to get their benefits or whatnot. They get into contact with the DAV, the VFW, the American Legion, all these, because those are the first touch points, and then they slowly but surely figure out all the other programs that are offered. So yeah, I think our VSOs are really important.
And that's why, the whole thing is one team, one fight. There's enough veterans in Kentucky. There's no competition between KDVA and all of the VSOs. We need to partner, and we do partner. I'd love to strengthen that more, especially for my program. And that's definitely one of my highest priorities. So,
well, Eileen, you know what? We've done a lot of talking about VSOs and KDVA. We'll get that too, but tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your story.
Okay. Well, I'm not a veteran, but I have been loved every day of my life by a veteran. So, end of story. Perfect. Let's move on. No, seriously. That is, I mean, how honored. My father was a Marine in the Korean War, and my husband was in the Air Force. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's
So was there a difference between a Marine upbringing and like an Air Force love of your life. I'm just curious. I haven't heard of that combination just yet, so I'm just a little curious.
Well, I will say one thing. My father was very strict. I was raised with three sisters, four girls, no brothers, and he was very strict on order, cleanliness. We had to be ordered, so that was good. Luckily, my husband's a whole lot calmer and easier going, so but no, I can't explain it. There's just a certain quality to veterans. Non-veterans know it. Veterans probably don't even realize it, but yes, it's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Mhm.
So let's move into this. Let's move into, could you tell us about KDVA and your role with KDVA? If it's not, what and you don't have to go into exact details, but just tell the listening audience, tell the Foxhole Nation, what is KDVA, what do you guys do, and then kind of segue into kind of how that works with you.
My favorite subject. So here we go. I've been with KDVA. I started KDVA in February of 2005. And I was a veteran benefit representative. That's why I said I have been all over the state of Kentucky, every small town, every place. And the love for veterans is true. It's not like once a year, like I said. So that's KDVA. That's how I started as a veteran benefit representative. In 2019, the homeless veteran program became available. And honestly, this was the only job that I would have ever left the field for, because, oh no, this was an honor. I am honored to have this job because it's a wonderful position. So now I'm the homeless veteran program coordinator.
Okay.
And I started this in 2019. And the difference, it's still advocacy. We still do the same as far as veteran benefits. We still connect. But the big thing of my program right now is I have the Homeless Veteran Trust Fund.
Okay.
It's a financial grant, and we'll get more into that, I know, but it's a great job. I love KDVA. I've often said, because there's so many long-term employees here, we're kind of in the habit of saying, no, this is my KDVA. No, my KDVA. We made KDVA. And we love it. That's the thing. All of the long-term employees will say the same thing. It's an honor and a joy to work with Kentucky veterans. It truly is. So
I love it. And from your job, from your studies, from your work, from your research, and maybe even talking to some homeless veterans, is there one prominent reason why Kentucky veterans find themselves in the homeless situation? And you may not know that answer. I'm just curious.
I know, because I can't answer for all. I know they always say substance abuse is the number one, but honestly, COVID, I talk to people for financial assistance that, they're like one paycheck away from homelessness. It's that close, living on the edge all the time, trying to keep up. So, and has nothing to do with substance abuse or, these are people that are we're trying to prevent this from happening, for people not to become homeless. So, I would say substance abuse and mental health for the chronic, the ones that, veterans that don't, and we all know this, there's a lot of veterans that don't want to be sheltered, taken care of. They would rather be on their own. Matter of fact, I've seen a study that was done at U of L, and they were, some of the answers for why veterans and all people, why won't you be sheltered? It's like, I have a pet. I'm not leaving my animals. I just don't feel comfortable around a lot of people anymore. There's a lot of reasons why people don't want to be sheltered, but the majority want to be. So that's a great thing. So I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, that was it. I was just curious, like every time we hear, I think it may be every state is somewhat different. I think the top 3 or 4 probably just may fluctuate, but I'm just curious, just from your work and working with the homeless program. But So we talked a little bit about it, but could you give us a little more detail? You mentioned the trust fund. So what is the Veterans Homeless Program, and why do you think it's important? Why should we as listeners, why should Foxhole Nation, why should we want to contribute or assist when we can with the Veterans Homeless Program?
Okay. Well, it's a two part. It's a program. Like I said, I'll talk about the fund first. I operate the Homeless Veteran Trust Fund, which is a financial assistance grant that's to prevent eviction or disconnect of essential utilities. And it's very popular. It's also very needed. I'm a big important puzzle. Let me put it that way. I'm an important puzzle piece because my grant allows me to pay for utility bills that are from like 2018, 2017, old, utility bills that are actually preventing someone from being housed immediately. Right. So I'm relied upon by a lot of the SSVF, which stands for Supportive Services for Veterans and Families, HUD-VASH, which stands for Housing and Urban Development, and VA Supported Housing. They can't do a lot of going back and correcting past mistakes, which I can. So I'm very happy to do that. That's the big thing. If people want to know what's important, that's the big one. And the grant program, I just know that we are so relied upon. A lot of the claims that I get, almost 50% are coming from referral sources. So I'm getting referrals from people that are already being case managed, and that makes a big difference. I get a lot of calls that people have just heard about the fund, and those are the ones that's like, look, my car broke down. I've spent way too much money this month. I'm a little short. I've got $100 and something electric bill. Can you help me? Yes. So it's one extreme or the other. You're either completely homeless and you're being case managed and you need a lot of support, or, hey, I just need a little help. Right. But one thing you need to know about the program is, of course, you have to have a general or honorable discharge. Okay. You have to have an immediate need. I've had people call and say, I'm going to probably run short in December. No, I have to have something that shows you're in an immediate need. But the other thing is we have very strict income requirements, right, which we're working on getting those changed. But, a single veteran can't make more than 150% of the poverty guidelines. So, $1,600 a month, a little over, that's very low income. Right. So, of course it adjusts for family size, as you have spouses and children, the money goes up, but it's still very low income. Like I said, 1 or 2 paychecks away from being evicted or, having to move into a shelter. So, right.
Are those guidelines, when you say they're strict, are those guidelines, does KDVA make those guidelines? Does the government, the state, legislature?
I'm so glad you mentioned that. So my program is covered under KRS 40.3. I just went blank, 40.30. I know this by heart. I'm just a little nervous, which is, of course, advocacy and financial assistance. But the committee, the actual title is the Homeless Veterans Service Coordinating Committee. So it's been smaller than it needs to be. And we just actually increased the membership. But so basically, yes, KDVA makes the rules. We make the rules, but not by ourselves. Right. We work with all of our partners and find out. And that's one of the things, historically, when I took over the program, it was a once in a lifetime grant. And I hated it. I'm like, I can't say no all day. No, I'm sorry, you used the fund in 2010. No, I'm sorry. I was really like, I was not liking my position. I thought, I'm a yes girl. Let's not. So the commissioner, deputy commissioner, our attorney, we decided that it was fair to change it to from once in a lifetime to once a calendar year. Okay. Now, the second request, I can't have people calling me, 1 year later and say, hey, can I get help again? If you don't need it. We prefer that the second request come from a partnering agency. So that way we know they're being case managed, and it's, it's needed. It's needed in a lot of cases. So yeah. I'm glad we were able to change that. The committee is actually going to be discussing the increase of the the poverty level, what's the minimum, because it just, I just don't know how people live on $1,600 a month. So,
Right.
and when you see the rents, I mean, some of the rents people are having to pay, I mean, fair market value in Lexington is like 600 and I want to probably $638 approximately.
Hmm.
I mean, it's hard to find an apartment for that kind of money,
Right.
something that's safe. I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, people are looking for that security. There, if you're being housed, you're finally being housed somewhere, you're looking for that kind of security after being in shelter or unsheltered for a long time.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And is there a a time? I know we say once a year, but do you notice that are most people or some of our veterans? Um, I guess the question would be how many are close to that poverty line? How many are hitting that mark and really, like you said, just
Okay.
one missed check or one missed moment away?
Let me give you an example. KDVA's fiscal year runs from July 1st to June. Everyone's is a little different.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
first quarter of fiscal year 21 during the
Hmm.
pandemic, first quarter, I only spent a little over 15,000.
Okay.
Okay. Now, fiscal year 22, first
Hmm.
quarter, I doubled that. It was 30 something, 32,000.
Right.
But here's where it gets a little scary is October, just the month of October alone, this year, just last month,
Hmm.
I paid out over 55 claims for over $20,000. So it's
Wow.
there. I mean, the need is there. Now, there's a lot of other programs that are
Hmm.
assisting, but again, mine's the one that can go back and do old bills, um, that can help people that need it immediately.
Right. Right. Right.
You don't have to, it's not a lengthy, I guess that's the one really bragging point. If I talk to you today, take an application, as soon as you get me your 214, a photo ID, and the bill, I can call that utility company because we have pledge lines and, we have understandings. They know who I am and they know that the state's, this is legit. And, they'll stop and they'll stop, a disconnect. They're very good that way. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing. I didn't know those numbers were going like that. That's
yeah.
yeah. I mean, and so I would imagine if we or when you guys probably raise that number, I'm sure that number will go up as well because I'm sure there are some people, whatever number we raise it to, that's gonna craze that number to go up. So I'm
Mhm.
just man, that's an interesting statistic.
I mean, it's just, you can't imagine what it's like to talk to a mother on the phone, a female veteran that has like
Hmm.
3 or 4 children. And, she can't, the utility companies tell them, oh no, we need the entire amount. And they cut off your power. Can you imagine trying to, 4 children and she's trying to work? I mean,
Right.
it's terrible. So that's why we're working on that. But here's the thing I need to kind of explain about the program.
Sure.
I'm funded. Okay, we have the Veteran Program Trust Fund,
Hmm.
which is money that comes to the state from purchasing military license plates. I
Okay.
don't know if everyone knows that. Every time you see a veteran plate or I support veterans, the money comes to KDVA to operate the Veteran Program Trust Fund.
Okay.
So I am primarily funded through that. I have to go before the board, whenever I need to make application. I just got approved for another 60,000, but if you're spending 20,000 a month, that's going fast. But I'm not complaining. They're
Right.
wonderful,
Right.
absolutely
Right.
wonderful. But I guess this is me trying to really push because I'm trying so hard to be funded legislatively because my KRS, I really
Hmm.
think I should be. So
Right.
that's all I have to say on that. But that's how I get my money. And I get a lot of, like Caldwell Banker McNahan. They're incredible. They give every sale they make, they give us a percentage.
Wow.
Every to my program, it's like
Mhm.
that is just, and they only used to do it for a year at a time, but they've picked to do it again. This is like the third year they're doing it for KDVA and veterans. So that's incredible. I get a lot of private donations, which
Mhm.
are wonderful. But the my operating budget basically comes from the Homeless Veteran Trust Fund. So
I love it. I love it. So go out. So for all our Kentucky veterans, if you don't have a Kentucky veteran license plate,
oh
one, go buy one.
yes, I mean that would be ideal because all of the programs that the trust fund, honor flights. I'm
Hmm.
trying to think, honor flights. We just do so many huge programs that everyone's familiar with. They are able to get funded through the program trust fund. So,
I love it. I love it. So
so
yeah, and all those donors out there, if you got a couple extra thousand laying around, you need to get rid of. We know the end of the year is coming. You know
hey,
where to go.
thousand, we take tens, we take 20s.
All right, right. If you got extra 20 laying around, don't. Yeah, that penny. That's my grandmother used to say. Pennies make dollars. So
That's true, and that is so true. So,
yes,
um,
whatever.
so
Every
that's my
little bit
thing. I
helps.
mean, I just love this program. I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm getting that across. I'm not a very good speaker, but it's changing lives every day.
and
It
that's what it's
is.
about. That's what it's about, and that's how we. That's
Mhm,
how we get. Because I mean,
mhm,
the reality is, any veteran, any person is really
mhm,
probably, whether you're well above that threshold or sitting right on that threshold. There's a lot of
mhm.
people who are, no matter what happens to them, they're probably one catastrophe, one layoff away from being in a very very bad situation.
Yes, I
And
mean, it's not like, oh, I can't pay my bill because I'm waiting for my IRA to cash or I'm getting my CDs cashed it's not like that. It's like this is immediate and it's
yeah,
real. And I hate to give you updated news. Breaking news. I saw the email come in. I'm picking up a huge donation on Monday
yes,
from Morehead State University.
right.
Dr. Silas Sessions, he has put it out to the entire community. I get truckloads of things that I'm then able to distribute to other partners to get this food and these needs met to the homeless right away. We've gone
Yeah,
to shelters to deliver. They put them in great backpacks or string bags, something that we can donate to all of the facilities
I
around.
love that.
So it's a wonderful
Yeah.
thing. I'm so appreciative for all the people that do help my program.
Oh, that's awesome. And that was one
Mhm.
thing one of my follow up questions too. What are some of those programs out there? I know you mentioned like well, you mentioned several. You mentioned some even partnering with just a recent a donation. But
Mhm.
what are some? Are those the only ones? Are there lots out there that you partner with? Or there's other programs that whether you live in Lexington or Louisville or
Mhm.
Frankfurt or Edinburgh, that you can assist to kind of help out.
Yes, there are so many programs that I can tell you about. It starts at the grassroots level. Like I
Hmm.
have an incredible auxiliary, DAV auxiliary in Lexington that do food drives. This year they picked up toys so that we can deliver, food to people
Hmm.
that were recently housed. That's the other thing. I mean, you get a house, but you don't get anything with it. You get, I know I'm not being funny. It's terrible, but that's what so as little as, every DAV unit auxiliary, I have another unit that does what they call a can with a plan. And I love it. It's 10, like popcorn size, huge tin cans,
Hmm.
and they fill it with necessities,
Right.
and they even go as far as, they have their own crocheted and knitted hats that they make.
Hmm.
It's incredible what people want to do. So that's kind of like the DA, that's the veteran service organizations, American Legion, NAMVETS. Those are the ones that they do a lot
Hmm.
already in their community. So they ask me a lot, what do you need? Who can I connect you with? Um, I guess Mountain Comp Care is the one that I connect with the most. It's the
Hmm.
Homeless Veteran Reintegration Program. It's
Okay.
helping someone as soon as they get housed to get a job, get what they need. Like I said, you may be housed tomorrow, but what do you have? You don't have a bed, you don't have anything. So I definitely work a lot with them for a lot of the donations that come in, not money. I don't give them money, but I give them all of the other donations or help. They're one of my best distributors. Let me just put
I
it that way.
love
I
it.
know they get it out there immediately. So,
Yeah, I mean, because here's the
mhm,
thing. I think that for the
mhm,
for the average listener, we may write a check or donate, and we don't really understand how it all funnels and where it goes and
Mhm.
who all you partner with and how, because like you
Mhm.
said, a lot of times if you give to a homeless, let's say you cut a check for $1,000 to the veteran homeless program, and then you're just like, well, but no one really knows what happens next. Does that go? Is it paying a bill? Like you said,
Yes.
is it helping a person just get off the streets or get a home? But then there's nothing in it. So then what's the partner that we need
Mhm.
to work and learn about? Because like you said, you need a bed, you need
Mhm.
groceries, you need at least a chair to sit on.
I
Just
know.
some of those simple things.
And that's why my partnership with all the VSOs is so important, because
Mhm.
how I can spend my money is very strict. I mean,
Right.
I really, because it's funneled through the Commonwealth Finance. They're the ones that actually cut the checks and mail them. No
Mhm.
checks can be mailed to an individual. It has to be to a landlord, property management, utility company. So I
Mhm.
can't help with beds. I can't help with, but that's where I work with these other agencies, like different VSOs in the counties, and say, look, I can help do my part, but I can't send these people a check. I'll take care of anything that I can pay with a check.
Right.
And that leaves you to be able to help somebody find a bed, or, and there's a lot of VSOs, veteran service organizations, that do put together like welcome home packets.
Yep.
Those are so needed. I can't even tell you, because you finally get a place, you don't even have a fork, let alone
Right.
whoever thinks about a shower curtain. I mean, how do you take a shower and go to work? You don't even have a shower curtain. So,
Right.
that's important. So
Okay, VSOs, it's on you now.
I
Step
know.
up, get those welcome home packets. The
Just
onus is now
please.
on you.
Mhm. But, in order to make that happen, my wish, if I could have anything, if I could pick a wish for any day, it
Mhm.
would be that all veterans sign up, join a veteran service organization. It doesn't mean that you have to meet there all the time, but if you could just be the person to get things started, let's do this. Let's
Right.
help in our community. Let's keep what we get in our community. Does that make sense?
That makes
You know,
perfect sense.
I mean, whenever I get the stuff from like Dr. Sessions at Moorhead, I try to keep it with Bath County surrounding areas, keep it
Mhm.
in their home. So I know I'm sounding like, if I
No,
could just have a wish for a day, that's what I would want. So
you're
I think
selling
it's
your
important.
program.
It's the foundation. I mean, it's
Yes.
the foundation in Kentucky that connects all veterans, no matter what organization you belong to,
Mhm.
because it's not just the donation, let's have a food drive. Then it becomes political, which is my
Right.
favorite thing, because that'll help me get my trust fund. I'll get funded. So sorry, I'm being silly, but
No, I
it
love
is.
it. Hey,
That's
but
how
it's
you have to
true.
do
It's
it. You
true.
have to
Yeah,
do
it's
it that
true.
way, you know.
I get it. I love
Mhm,
it. So listen, but I know you got a lot to do. Clearly, it's the holiday season. I know
mhm.
there's a lot going on. So before I take up too much of your time, I definitely want to get through our sniper round. So our sniper round is just real quick. This is the way I have
Okay,
fun with every guest. 5 quick questions, and then we'll get
okay,
back to some more serious stuff. But 5
okay,
quick questions just to see how things are going and where things are going, just to see if we can have a little fun with Eileen Ward,
okay,
coordinator of the Veteran Homeless Program for KDVA. Here we go. Sniper
okay.
round question one. What was your favorite place to live? I've changed it up a little bit or visit.
Okay. I'm going to have to say where I currently live, Salvisa, Kentucky. Okay, because here's the reason. There's no other state, no other, no other city. I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous. In the entire United States
Hmm.
that's named Salvisa. Now there's a Salvia, California, but Salvisa is an original since 1828. Now I haven't been there that long, but I absolutely, it's the best kept secret in Kentucky.
Ah,
I love where I live. So I often tell people, I wasn't born here, but I plan to die here, and hopefully it's in Salvisa. So
I love it.
yeah.
Listen. I've never even heard of that before.
Well,
So
it's kind of the hub of the universe. I'm surprised you haven't heard it before. I mean, even at the hotel when we were checking in Richmond yesterday, when
mhm.
he was the veteran, I'm sorry, the clerk was checking me in. He was like, Salvisa, I have a friend that lives there. I'm like, because it's the center of the universe. So there you go.
Clearly, clearly. Here
hmm
we go. Sniper round question. What was or is your best career memory?
Okay. It hasn't actually happened yet, but
Okay.
it's going to happen very soon. My best memory is going to be when I'm told that my my program has been funded. I'm only asking for $200,000 per year, which we were already spending over 100,000, and knowing how it's going, I think it'll really take the pressure off of worrying about how much I'm spending. I just can never say that I can't help you because I'm not funded. I just can't imagine. It's never happened and it never will. But so that's going to be my one. That'll be one. Now, I did actually have another memory. Look at me going too much. We just recently, and it's not me, it's the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs, just won the Abraham Lincoln Pillar of Excellence for our homeless program. It's not because of me. It's because, like I said, we go through the trust fund. Let me show you my little friend.
Oh,
can you see it? Wait,
nice.
I don't know how to do that.
Yes.
Yes. Pillar of Excellence for
Love
KDVA in the whole United States. Number one, whole United States. So
okay. That deserves a good brag. That deserves a good brag. Okay. Number one in the whole United States deserves
in the whole, you mean, yes, number one, the entire United States. So
right. All right, stop around. Here we go. What
Okay.
has been your favorite professional development training?
Here's the thing about being a veteran benefit representative and now being the homeless, it never ends. I was at training yesterday when we were training with the VSOs. So all the training is valuable. I don't have one particular, because everything changes. So you really can never say, oh, I know everything about benefits. No, you never can say that. You need to know what's going on, what different programs. So, I guess every time I learn something new is my favorite development training. So.
All right, last sniper round question. If you could do your career all over again, and you've been everywhere from New York to Texas to Salvisa.
Kentucky, yes.
If you could do it all over again, what would you do different?
Nothing. This has been, I'm not even joking. It's been perfect. Every day that I have worked here has been, and people say that sounds silly, but it's the truth. I would do nothing different because I love the way that it's progressed. No, I love it. Nothing to change.
Great. Listen, Eileen, before we get out of here today, I do want to ask you one more thing. Just give you a shout out. Give you the ability to give a shout out to any organization out there you want to highlight that maybe we didn't mention, we didn't cover, anything that came to mind. I know you said you were nervous. Maybe something came last minute, right? Is there an organization out there that you'd like to highlight or just give a shout out to?
I definitely have to give a shout out to Mountain Comp Care, Miss Kitty Collins, Homeless Veteran Reintegration Program. She's a force of nature. She will not allow, if I put somebody in a hotel, if I have to provide temporary shelter, all I have to do is call her and she'll get them food, bring it to them. So Mountain Comp Care is the one I'd want to give my shout out to.
I love it. Mountain Comp Care, just know you are now officially on my radar. I'm coming.
Definitely. Jacqueline Long, Kitty Collins. No, seriously, it's a wonderful, wonderful organization. Yeah. They all are. I love everybody that I work with, but.
No doubt. We all love everyone we work with. We all work with rock stars, but sometimes we have to go above and beyond. I call it being ritzy, right? Sometimes we have to go above and beyond and just say, hey, I know you're doing a great job, but you're really doing a great job when it comes to helping me. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. All right.
So our listeners, Foxhole Nation has learned. They've heard about, our veterans homeless program. We know you're the coordinator. But is there anything that we missed or something that you really want our listeners to get out of today's podcast?
Yes, it's how to connect to help, to make change happen. Yeah. I was speaking with the vet center, one of the employees yesterday at the training, and he was saying that he would give anything if he could find a like-minded group of people in rural communities to get together to, put together Thanksgiving now it'll be Christmas baskets, food, whatever they can do. I think the best way to do is join a veteran service organization and make your voice heard. But also it's just so easy to do just a little bit that makes it, a little bit from each person makes a huge difference. So that's kind of what I'd like to tell people, unless you do have a lot of money and you just want to make a donate. I mean, I will take it, but that's really all I would say is get involved.
Yeah.
Because we need it. I mean, a lot of our veteran service organizations have a lot of, there's so many Vietnam veterans, Korean War veterans, World War II veterans. We need everyone to be involved. So
No doubt. Well, listen, Eileen, I know you got a lot of work to do. I got a few things I got to do for KCMA, and now KDVA clearly has you busy. It's the holiday season, and we know we definitely want to make sure our homeless vets are taken care of. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on the podcast today. I mean, the information I learned today of organizations I probably need to get in contact with, as well as, some local VSOs, just to see where assistance and help can be needed, just to lend a helping hand if needed. So again, thank you. Again, you are making Kentucky become the most military ready state we know we can possibly be. So again, thank you for assisting in making and keeping this podcast focused on what we want to keep it on, which is all things military, all things Kentucky. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was my honor. Thank you.
All right, have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Eileen. That was an amazing Foxhole podcast interview. We truly thank you for educating and keeping us informed about what's going on with the homeless veterans in the wonderful and great state of Kentucky. Listen, as I promised in the beginning, I did my best to keep it all things military and all things Kentucky. And Eileen really helped deliver the home run on that one. Foxhole Nation, as I always do every week, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you thought of this podcast. I want to know what you're thinking of this podcast. I want to know your feedback. I want to know your thoughts. Hey, you can even send me an email letting me know if some special guests that you would want to see on the podcast. How can you reach me? I'm glad you asked. You can connect with me at sean.owens@ky.gov. Again, that's sean.owens@ky.gov. SHAUN.OWENS@ky.gov. And as Eileen gave the shout out, I want to give a quick shout out to Mountain Calm Care and Miss Kitty Collins for their homeless veteran reintegration program. Listen, if you're doing an amazing job, we definitely want to give you a shout out through KCMA. Keep up the good work. Keep helping our homeless veterans, especially during this holiday season. There were 4 things when we kicked off this program that I said I wanted you to do, and I know we checked all the boxes. 1 was that you stay engaged. 2, that you stay motivated. 3, that you stay educated. And 4, that you stay inspired. I'm hoping to all my Foxhole Nation out there that you learned something today about homeless veterans in the great state of Kentucky. And this is what we can do, how we can be engaged. We need to do something, support a program, donate some of our time, our talent, or our resources to these great programs because they're helping our brothers and sisters in arms, doing something because sometimes life just happens and things get tough. Listen, Foxhole Nation, I'm relying on you to help change a veteran's life this week. So listen, until I see and we meet again in a couple weeks, this is what I want each and every one of you to do. I want you to stay safe and have a great day.